to me. Oh, I'm an island boy. Hey, I'm a just island boy. I'm a just island boy. I'm a just keep that gun. I'm a just staring at the sun. Gazing. I'm like,
Good morning, Chargers.
It's Alina.
And Daniela.
Welcome back to Wrsn.
Today's show includes updates on upcoming clubs and events.
Let's get right into it.
First up, we have an important announcement on yearbooks. They're on sale. Our national award-winning Renaissance yearbook can now be pre-ordered at the lowest price of the year. Order yours using the link on the slide.
Next, eating disorders are a huge issue in America that has become especially prevalent with the rise of social media. Last week's Freshman Assembly focused on bringing awareness to and how we can help out others struggling with eating disorders. Let's go to Samantha with the story.
Freshmen gathered together as a class outside the auditorium doors, awaiting to see what their assembly was going to be about. Once in the auditorium, Miss Winchester introduced the two guest speakers and stated that they were there to speak about eating disorders, body image, and self-esteem.
I want to introduce our speakers. We have Miss Nina Taylor, and we also have Dr. Weiser.
Miss Taylor started by speaking about what eating disorders are.
I want to make is that there are a lot of common misconceptions about them, one of which is that eating disorders are a choice. They are not. They are brain-based and biologically influenced.
She also explained all of the contributing factors of eating disorders, such as media, peers, and your mental health, as well as others. Along with these great points made, she also educated the freshmen on the different types of eating disorders and the negative sides of dieting.
I learned all about different eating disorders and the consequences that comes with certain types of dieting and how to correctly diet and how to find a happy medium.
She also made the freshmen aware of how body image and self-esteem are things you develop over time.
We're not born with either of these. They're sort of socially constructed and developed over time.
Lastly, she taught the students how to correctly help a friend out who is struggling with these issues. Freshman Joel Vincent shared what he learned from the assembly.
At the assembly, I learned about eating disorders and how they affect people around the world.
Freshmen weren't the only ones who learned something from this inspiring talk. Miss Winchester shared what she learned from the assembly.
Something I learned is how important it is for our students to develop a positive self-image and to develop positive body image and not use these behaviors or fall into one of these disorders.
This has been Sam reporting for WRSN. Now back to the studio.
Thanks, Samantha. Let's toss it over to Hudson for all the latest on sports.
What's up, Chargers? It's Hudson for today's sports news. We want to applaud all of our Chargers and their efforts in last night's games. First up, the competitive cheerleading team had a head-to-head with Seminole Ridge. Next up, the varsity girls soccer team won against Dwyer 7-0, but the junior varsity team lost 7-1. On a higher note, the girls weightlifting team beat Palm Beach Gardens yesterday. There were many best lifts yesterday. Their hard work is paying off. Finally, the varsity boys basketball team had a 75-54 win against Atlantic. Congrats to all of our Chargers on their amazing wins. In other news, there will be a meeting during lunch in room 316 this Thursday for anyone interested in playing water polo. Water polo is a really fun sport that is a mixture of soccer, basketball, and hockey in the water. No experience is needed. That's all for me. Back to Alina and Daniela in the studio. Ka-chow!
Thanks, Hudson. Speaking of sports, maintaining our physical health is difficult with all of our schoolwork. Let's go to the story to see on how you can balance your life here at Suncoast.
As you know, Suncoast is a very rigorous school which holds students from different locations. And one may wonder, where do you find time for your physical health with work from a school like Suncoast?
It's just there, you just find time. If you have a little homework, then just go ahead, do it, and then go to the gym. I worked on upper body and arms.
There has always been a heavy workload at Suncoast, but students Students always want to keep in check with their physical health and well-being, and it's important to do so. This is Manit Tabria reporting for WRSN.
Now let's wish a happy birthday to all of our Chargers celebrating today.
Oh, I'm an island boy. Hey, I'm a just island boy. I'm a just island boy. I'm a just keep that going. I'm a just staring at the sun.
Happy birthday, guys. Before we wrap up, we want to remind you to check our accompanying slides for more information about today's announcements and extra details that we could not fit into the show.
That's all for today, Chargers. This has been Daniela
And Alina with WRSN. Thanks for tuning in.
Island boy, and I've been trying to make. Oh, I'm an island boy. Hey, I'm a just island boy. I'm a